sa inyong lahat. Ako po si G. Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng tumawag sa amin kahapon for our first live show. Ngayon naman, let's talk about our midweek news updates from our friends from Asian Journal.
Asian Journal, the Filipino-American community newspaper since 1991.
Kasama natin muli si Annie Nepomuceno, our Los Angeles correspondent for Asian Journal. Kamusta, Annie?
Kumusta? Magandang hapon sa iyo.
Magandang hapon
I'm doing pretty well. So let's see what the news is today. Diba? The House approves the Homeland Security funding bill without immigration provisions. The U.S. House of Representatives on Tuesday, March 3, passed a $40 billion spending bill that funds the Department of Homeland Security through the end of the fiscal year, averting a partial shutdown of the agency. The legislation, approved in a 257 to 167 vote, is free of immigration provisions, which Republicans have repeatedly attempted to include to reverse President Barack Obama's immigration plans to spare millions of undocumented immigrants from deportation. The measure now heads to the president's desk, where he is expected to sign it. The legislation marks a victory for Democrats who have opposed any bill that did not completely fund the agency or included provisions on immigration.
All right, we discussed this yesterday with our lawyers that the funding has been extended despite the blocking of the GOP.
Yes, that's right. So hopefully, things will progress much further.
All right, let's move on to our next news topic.
Yes, our next story is that California voters will get to weigh in on the state's plastic bag ban after opponents of the law collected and submitted enough signatures necessary to qualify a November 2016 referendum on the measure. Until then, implementation of the ban is suspended. State election officials announced Tuesday, February 24. The ban, approved by California Governor Jerry Brown in 2014, was scheduled to be phased in beginning July 1st last year at major grocery stores and pharmacies.
Statistics have shown kapag hindi mo kailangan dalhin yung sarili mong bag, mas marami kang binibili sa grocery.
Kind of. I think that's true. And I think there is opposition because they are concerned naman about employment, that it will affect employment of a lot of people who are working in the manufacturing business. So I hope they come into a good resolution.
But another thing is, ang hindi alam ng lahat ng tao, ang Pilipino, nire-reuse nila yung plastic bag nila galing sa supermarket, di ba? Ginagamit nila sa banyo. So maraming uses.
Yes, exactly.
Hindi lang tinatapon.
Tama yon.
All right, for our last news item for the day.
Yes, at a public hearing on CIT Group's $3.4 billion takeover of OneWest Bank, supporters said the merger would benefit minority groups and poor neighborhoods, while critics said such an occurrence would create a new too-big-to-fail bank. Among communities strongly backing the merger include Filipinos. Faith Bautista, president and CEO of the National Asian American Coalition, or the NAAC, said her organization, Island Pacific Supermarket, and 130 Filipino organizations in Los Angeles are in favor of the marriage between the companies. Why? Bautista said because OneWest is the bank that will take Filipinos to the next level. They're very committed in micro-lending, they're very committed to small business, and they're very committed to increasing home ownership, said Bautista during a brief conference held by the National Diversity Coalition on the day of the hearing. OneWest and the NAAC have partnered to offer financial education services to Filipinos through kiosks. The bank is also looking to install ATMs at Island Pacific Supermarket locations. The more we work together, the more we hold hands together, the more we will increase and give opportunities to the unbanked, underbanked, and immigrants, Bautista said. Jeff Lim, president of Island Pacific Supermarket, said OneWest has helped Filipinos in the Philippines as it is one of the banks that financed the supermarket's importation of products such as dried fish.
All right, so it certainly is a good thing when two big companies merge together in support of our Filipino community.
Yes, that's good. And alam mo naman, lahat tayo naghahanap ng mga opportunity para ma-improve ang ating buhay. And it's really good that these large corporations, they focus on micro-lending and smaller businesses. So hopefully makatulong nga ito.
Oo. And I'm looking forward to people actually going to these banks to really be able to help them with their businesses. Alam naman natin na pag nagnenegosyo tayo, napaka-importante na meron tayong capital.
Yes, that's true.
Oh. All right. So, Annie, thank you once again for joining us. We had all these news items. Could you kindly recap what we talked about? Just the first one was...
The first one was about the approval of the bill extending the funding for the Homeland Security.
Okay, and that's very good news.
And
especially because of what's going on with immigration right now.
So hopefully it gets somewhere. And there is the hold of the plastic bag ban. Now, hopefully they come into resolution also. But I think, you should still carry your reusable bags.
Right.
And the last issue was the merger of the CIT Group and OneWest Bank.
All right. Well, thank you once again, Annie Nepomuceno of Asian Journal, for being here on Kababayan Today to share with us our midweek news updates. If you want the complete story, you can check them out on the website, asianjournal.com, and you can read all about what we discussed today, as well as other stories that are very important to our Filipino community. Maraming salamat muli, Annie Nepomuceno and Asian Journal. We'll be right back here on Kababayan Today.